Alright guys, so real quickly I'm going to show you what direct variation is. Make sure to take these notes in your notebook, what am I saying? Make a 2-column notes, put your notes on this side, and then put your reflections or steps or anything on the other side. Okay. Alright, so direct variation is used with the formula y equals kx. Let me make my title direct variation. Okay. It's kind of like what we've been saying already with y equals mx plus b, but it just doesn't have a y-intercept. That means pretty much if you were to see it on a graph, okay, k would be my slope and my y-intercept would be 0, so I could have a direct variation that goes through the origin this way. It could be negative, or it could even be just really slanted if you want to this way. Okay, but direct variation goes through the origins, just y equals kx. Okay, let me see. If you are looking for an example of y equals kx, you would have something like this: y equals 2x, or y equals 1/2 x. Okay, but the y would have to be by itself. If the y is not by itself, then make sure you solve for y. Okay, a non-example. Okay, so this is an example. Non-example would be something like y equals 2x plus 1, because it has a y-intercept. Okay, and it's not varying directly. You're adding a 1 after you compare it or use your slope of 2. Alright, now in the equation y equals kx, k is a constant of variation. You're saying, for example, if y equals 2 and x equals 3, I want to know what k is, so I can do 2 equals k times 3, or 2 equals 3 times k. I can divide by 3. 2 divided by 3 would be my k, so my constant of variation would be 2 over 3. Okay, and then I can use this equation now, y equals 2 over 3x, and I could find any value. I can substitute any value into the x to find any value for y. Very easy. Okay, there are some examples in the worksheet that you're going to do today that they give you what the y is. Okay, so for example, they tell you, this is number 6 on your worksheet, and it says y equals 16 when x equals 8, and they want me to find y. So I'm looking for y when x equals 16. Wait. Yes, when x equals 16. Okay. So I have y equals kx. Y is 16, so I'm using this point right here. And then x equals 8. Sorry about that. Okay. So now I want to solve for k. Oh, whoa, what's going on? Okay. So I'm going to solve for k. I'm going to divide by 8. So k equals 2. That means I can write my equation y equals, it's going to be announcements.
Good afternoon, teachers. This is a reminder, if you did not attend EOC test training, please make sure you attend the makeup session right now in the library. In the library at this time. Make sure you bring your laptop computer. Again, if you did not attend the original training, please make sure you attend makeup session at this time in the library, and please make sure you bring your computer. Thank you.
Alright. I'm not going to restart the video, so I'm sorry about that. Just pretend the announcement happened right now during your class period. Anyway, so now I have the equation that I needed. All I did was take this 2 and replace it in for the k and y equals kx. Okay. So now if they're telling me x is 16, all I gotta do is y equals 2 times 16, and y equals 32. Okay. That's the long way to do this. It's a lot of steps. Direct variation is really a a proportion. You have seen proportions before, like in 6th grade, when they would tell you something like, oh, if it takes 1 cup of flour to make 2 cakes, how many cups of flour does it take to make 10 cakes, right? So it's the same idea with direct variation. Instead of doing all this hard work, I'm going to erase it just so I don't make a new page, okay? But you don't have to erase it. Just write it under it. This is method number 2, okay? So instead of doing it the way that I just did it, I can do it a lot easier, and I can do, let's say I want to put the y's on the top and the x's at the bottom. So I had 16 over 8 equals, I don't know what the y is, okay, over 16. Okay. So if I want to do this the easier way per se, okay, I can cross multiply and divide. Okay. Let me see if I have a calculator here real quick. I actually do. So if I do 16 times 16, that gives me 256. Okay, so 16 times 16 is 256, and then I divide it by 8, and that gives me 32. Okay, this way is way shorter than when I showed you earlier, right? So you can do it both ways. It doesn't really matter as long as it says varies directly. As long as it says varies directly, then you can do it either as a proportion or as y equals kx. Okay. Let's do another example. This is similar to number 10 on your worksheet. So let's say, actually similar to number 9. Let's say that A equals 7 when B equals 12, and I want to figure out what B is when A equals, I don't know, 3. Okay, so you're not always going to get some nice numbers, but again, if I want to do it as a proportion, I'm going to put my A's on the top and the B's at the bottom. 7 over 12 equals 3 over question mark, right? So I'm going to cross multiply. 12 times 3 is 36, and I'm going to divide by 7. So 36 divided by 7 gives me 5.14. Okay, so my question mark, or the B that I'm missing, is actually 5.14. Is that what I said it was? Yes, 5.14. Okay. Now again, this is doing it with a shortcut, right? If I don't want to use the shortcut, I can do it the long way, which is always good to do both, okay, to know how to do both, because you never know when you're going to need it. So y equals kx, or in this case, we can say A equals kb, right? A is 7. I don't know what k is, and b equals 12. So right now I'm multiplying k times 12. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. So k equals 7 over 12. Okay. So I have my equation A equals 7.
Teachers, science department, foreign languages, and health and PE, you will be having PLCs tomorrow morning. An email will be sent out as a reminder. Again, PE, health, science, and foreign language, you will have PLCs tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. An email will follow soon. Thank you.
Alright, I'm sorry about that again. Apparently they have so many announcements after school. Anyway, so A equals, I turned that into a decimal, and it's 0.58 B. Okay, so if they're telling me A equals 3 and I need to solve for B, then I'm going to divide. Okay, so 3 divided by 0.58 gives me 5.17. I think that's the same answer we had gotten earlier. Okay, so Oh, I didn't do it. B equals 5.17, and that's pretty much it. Okay. Well, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to leave you guys with the worksheet, and just do your best on it. If you are better at doing just a shortcut, then just do a shortcut. If not, then you decide what you want to do. Okay. Remember, you're using the equation y equals kx. It doesn't always have to be y equals kx. It could be a equals kb. It could be c equals kd. Okay, as long as it's an equation similar to this. All right. So do your best. Make sure you turn it in at the end of the period. And what was I going to say? Oh, and make sure you turn in your homework from yesterday, except for 7th period. Oh yes, I wanted to give a shout out to my 7th period, because yesterday they did super amazing and they had the best discussion ever. They were all kind of arguing about one problem, but it was just the best watching them talk about math. So shout out to 7th period. You guys are awesome. Alright, so I'll see you guys when we come back from Thanksgiving break. Hope you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving break and you eat a lot of turkey and all that good stuff. Alright, bye guys.